Ray,
Yes.
you notice that it's like near the latter end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much like you're getting ready for swim class. Then you
Mm-hmm.
see Evo, basically also getting ready.
I vote.
Hey,
Getting ready to take another shot at the pool.
yeah, I wanted to get a few laps in before club.
Want me to tag along?
If you think you can keep up this time.
Oh, yeah. I think I can. I can keep up. Yeah. He says with a grin.
Alright. You're on. And we'll do some post-swim checks.
Mm-hmm. No modifier, I imagine.
Be your
Yeah,
swim
no mod.
stat.
Yeah, no mod.
Yeah.
17. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oof.
Did it happen again?
He fumbled.
Yeah, Ivo fumbled.
It
Ivo
happened again.
Ivo invoked Julia.
Oh no.
As you two go to slip,
Mhm.
as you two jump in the pool, Ivo basically kind of twists his ankle going in,
Ooh.
and basically falls behind you, then gets up on the other end of the pool. Ah, fuck, pendejo!
Oof. So even though like Ray technically won, he's gonna go up to him. Hey, okay, man. I'm happy with that. Ooh, that's a bad twist.
You
Ugh.
swimming Quito Caca.
Keep.
It's pretty shit.
Alright, well. Yeah, I look at his ankle like, I think you should be fine though, but maybe lay off the practice.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I just gotta let it go before
Yeah.
class starts. Ooh, they start stretching his leg out and calms down.
Ugh.
Then he kind of punches you on the shoulder. So, how you been, pal?
I've been doing fine. I mean, hell, it's what? It's the second year now, or third year for Ray. I mix.
No, this would be you and Gen's third year because
Yeah.
you did 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, you know, starting off third year. I mean, everything's fine at least. No troubles. Thank God, I guess. P's been going well. You?
So.
How's you got a new roommate now since you moved out?
It ain't bad though. The new kid talks a lot about that airsoft team he's on or whatever.
I see. I mean, I guess his version is airsoft. Ours would be swimming. So, or you know, the other skill we have.
Yeah, well, we don't play pretend for ours.
Yeah, we don't. We really don't. I also have
He's got a decent head on his shoulders, though.
at least, as long as he can, you know, keep his room safe and doesn't do any trouble, you know. I got myself a new roommate.
How was that? How was your new roommate?
Short guy. Very. How will I say this? Feel bad for him. A little bit of an introvert, I guess. Big bookworm and intelligent, I gotta say. Wish I had his brains.
Why? Then you couldn't be someone's personal trainer after getting out of paradise here.
I mean, yeah, I might have to, so. Pee and all that. But yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Ray,
Yeah, Evo?
this might be my last year here.
No? What's going on, man?
Well, my grant only covered the first 2 years here, and my family doesn't have a lot of money, so they said they could let me finish this year, but I might have to go back to Brazil sooner rather than later.
What's your opinion on that? Maybe you'll be able to complete your studies.
I mean, I get it. It's just it feels like I'm getting pushed away by something I can't help.
Any way I can help, man? I mean, I don't know. If I could, I would try. To be honest, you're a good man, good guy. To be honest.
I appreciate it, Ray, but unless you've got my whole next year of tuition, I don't think so.
Damn, sucks, man. I wish I could help you, man, but unless you can maybe scrounge up some money until next year.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe if we get lucky, there might be one thing, but
Come on, what's that one thing?
let's just enjoy the time we got, Ray.
I mean, yeah, we can enjoy the time we got, or if you want to stay here and complete everything you got here, what's the one thing you have, man? Come on.
Yeah. You're always so dang pushy, you know that?
That's what they've always told me.
Well, maybe if I get picked this year, that'd be about the only thing I could hope for.
Picked for what?
You know. And out of character, you do know it, just it'll be explained next session.
Okay, alright. Trying to hope for that.
Besides, I can still write you, keep you up on your Spanish.
I mean, yeah. Just sad we won't be able to do the swimming training and the other training, you know. How will I sharpen my skills while I'm here, man?
I don't know. Other ones might just give you the medals this year. I at least make you fight for them.
Yeah. Hey, man, look. Again, man, if there's anything I can do to help, I can try to help, man, but...
I appreciate it, Ray. Then he'll kind of bump you on the shoulder, and I think my leg's good to do another lap.
You sure? I mean, look, man, if you break your leg...
Are you chicken, Ray? Too scared to swim? No.
Oh.
Too known to dar?
I tell you right now, man, you're messing with the wrong man for the swimming. You're on.
I don't know, you're pretty close to... You're getting pretty close to chupo mi huevos.
Oh, you're on, man. You're on. Oh.
And then you two will go back to swimming, and Kevin
Yeah.
knows exactly what I just said.
Uh,
Alright, Alex. You're, it's like day 5 of the year for you. And as you're passing by, getting ready to go to the airsoft field, you notice that someone's on a bench playing a guitar, like an acoustic guitar, but kind of just really focused on it. And as you pass by, you can see the strum to get a little bit more lively, then it sombers down, like it's very orchestral in nature.
Hearing this, probably Alex would stop and listen to the music.
You'll stop and listen, then the person sitting on the picnic table out in the rec area eventually stops.
After hearing this good music, stop out of nowhere, Alex will open his eyes and look at the guitarist.
Okay, when you do, you see this person. And then she stopped playing, and she goes, "Oh, so you have eyes."
More like I have ears. You listen to music.
Fair. And she kind of tips her guitar so it's laying neck up and sitting on the bench seat.
pretty good music. Um, I mean, it's awkward for Alex because he didn't really think this person would talk to him at all.
As you sit there in silence, she basically pulls up her notebook and starts going over her schedule. So, do you talk or do you just always hang around awkwardly?
Um, Once in a while, I'll probably be there awkwardly sitting, listening to your music.
She kind of gives a little bit of a chuckle. I mean, it's fine. I usually try to practice between classes. I'm on it's weird. It's not really like marching band, but I'm in the music club.
Oh, you're in the music club. Would it? I mean, it's kind of obvious if we think about it. Um, um, well, as you can, do I have like the airsoft gun on me? Yeah, yeah.
You would. I don't think you'd be like holding it out like look at my gat. But you'd have it on you.
I'll probably like take it out and show. And I'm in the airsoft.
Oh, cool. What position you play?
I just kind of do my own thing.
Well, I mean, you gotta have a position on the team. What is it?
I don't. As you can see, Alex starts, getting, nervous, tongue-tied.
As you get nervous, she kind of lets a little bit of a very audible laugh out. It's fine. I don't bite, really.
I'm vice captain. I don't really, pay attention at all. Probably the breacher of the group.
I'd have guessed the other one.
You caught me a little off guard with that one, honestly.
I am not doing friendly fire, okay?
Okay, back to the scene.
I mean, maybe once in a while there'll be, some friendly fire.
Yeah, well, at least it's not real, right?
Well, that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah. That's saying what I was getting at. Hey, what's your name?
Alexander Chen.
Where are you from? That's a bit of an odd name.
I'm from California. Yeah, Dad moved there with my mom.
Well, you got the accent.
Is it obvious?
Well, I mean, mine's not really all that hidden either. It just mostly kind of bleeds out a little bit when I speak English.
So where are you from?
I grew up in Barcelona.
That's in South America, right?
Geography lesson. Barcelona is in Spain.
Excuse me, I'm not good at geography or history.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Barcelona the capital of Spain, or is that
No,
Madrid?
it's the capital of a region, but
Madrid.
not Madrid is the capital of Spain, but Barcelona is the capital of a region.
Bigger cities like Catalonia and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is the capital of a region in Spain, but not an actual not the capital of Spain entirely. So yeah.
Anyway, I gotta get to class. It was nice meeting you. My name's Vivian.
Vivian? That's a pretty cool name.
Thanks. Name's Vivian Sierra. I'll see you around.
See ya. Vivian's hero.
Then Alexander realizes that he's 3 minutes late for class and decides to be 8 minutes late for class.
I check after being in a daze. He will check his PDA. How late is he?
You're not late. You got like a little bit of time before club starts.
Okay. I'll probably start running off to the club.
No, I won't make you late like I did Daniel because you were so awkward to where that was punishment enough.
I mean, I just got caught off guard. I'm like, what am I supposed to say?
I play airsoft. Cool. What position? I don't know.
Oh no. I'm
I
everywhere.
play basketball.
Right
Awesome. What position? Small, large, center forward guard.
Vice captain?
I'm still sad he didn't go with friendly fire.
No, thank you.
No, that's reserved strictly for when he plays with Sammy.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's only with Sammy.
Poor Sammy.
Poor Sammy. May he rest
I
in
mean,
peace.
there's probably a Sammy in the club. That's why I accidentally shot him in the leg.
Alright, well, before I get to the next round of Essential RP, it's a free round for everyone who wants to have a conversation with who.
Question: would I already be done with my club?
Well, no, this is like, this whole first session's taking place at random points during the first week of the year.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So who wants to start with the free RP?
So does that mean that we can declare what time it is?
Yeah, I'd allow a little bit of freedom. Just make sure it stays within like
The 1
2
week.
days of when I've set up. It's about Tuesday right now.
So.
Question:
Alright.
Alright.
would I have known about Ivil's, last year?
He would not have spoken about it to you.
Okay.
I almost feel like we should just go inverse of the last order of rolls and just go.
Excuse me, that'll be D first. I'm fine being last or second or third.
Alright, well. Ethan, you got
Mhm.
anything?
Not on top of my head, no. Not right now, anyway. I'll let, no, actually.
Oh.
Let me think. Trying to think who I would roleplay as, and actually not. I'll roleplay with Daniel because I feel like maybe, start with a little bit of
Daniel
roleplay.
gonna get all the spotlight right now.
Yay!
I mean, I'm his roommate, so
You want to set the scene? This is your scene? then?
sure. So maybe it's like near the end of the sort of like the day, at the room, like at our room. I don't know if you would come first. I probably come late, like after you, due to swimming practice and all. So I sort of walk in. You can already smell the like the shower like smell, like shampoo and all that. As I walk in, he's got like a towel over him, shirt and shorts, very laid back. Hey Daniel.
Do you remember to do your after exercise stretches? I wouldn't want you to cramp up the next time you go swimming or pull a muscle.
Well, don't worry about me, Daniel. I've practiced myself with swimming since I was a kid. I know all the routines.
In Daniel's head, but not out of his mouth, and I can't stress that enough, but in his head, and I've been studying the human body for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So I imagine there's kind of like a look on Daniel's face, almost like he
Mhm.
smelled a weak fart. Like a...
That's-
What about your studies? Are you keeping up?
I'm managing. How about you?
I am a bit worried. I'm going to be totally honest.
What you worried about,
I'm
man?
only 3 weeks ahead.
You're 2 weeks ahead of the class?
started
that
yesterday.
okay,
The first day of
Is that
school.
okay, Tommy? Let me know if that's crossing the line.
You could be about a week ahead because it's only been like 2-3 days of the school year. Realistically.
All right, we'll revise it to 1
Yeah,
week.
1 week. Yeah. So I'm like, you're 1 week ahead.
I'm a
Wow.
bit worried. I'm only 1 week ahead.
Why should you be worried? You're 1 week. I can keep up with today's work, but you a week? How? Actually, no, don't have to say because you are a genius. You have to be. Yes, you are actually.
I like to imagine that there's just like a bunch of pencils in front of him that are worn down to the eraser.
Damn. I'm like,
You think I am a genius? That is so flattering. I don't think I am a genius. I think I am
Well-
just a med student.
well, in a sense of that you get a lot of work done compared to other students in such an
I
amount of
just try
time.
very hard. You could do as much work as I do if you wanted to.
Possibly, but that's, you know, if my schedule allows it. And I also have to practice swimming on a consistent basis. Kind of hard trying to study while also trying to keep your body up in shape. But not that difficult. I've managed.
What is it like? What is it like swimming?
Swimming is, oh, I don't know. It makes you feel free, I guess. You know when like you sort of hit the water and everything sort of opens up to you. Like you no longer have the air around you, just have water. And with that water, you manipulate it, try and practice and do the best you can. I just find it free and relaxing, I guess.
If I'm being totally honest, that sounds terrifying.
What do you mean it's terrifying?
The air around you, you need that to breathe.
Oh, of course you have to breathe. Don't worry, we practice to make sure we can breathe the air still. We have maneuvers and all that. It's just, but hey, I always hear that, swimming, keeps your body up. Also, helps with the condition.
It is very good, non-stressful exercise. There is less gravity pushing down on your muscles. So it is very healthy. But I prefer simple calisthenics, I think.
Do you even train? Like train your body? I mean.
I imagine that just this mountain of books surrounds Daniel,
Yeah.
and he's like, "I train, in a sense."
I mean, other than lifting books that are probably like less weighted than a dumbbell, do you do physical training? Do you have a sport you practice? Do you, I don't know, do jog at least in the morning?
I don't jog in the morning, but I do my calisthenics, and I like to try and go running when I have the time. Sometimes I will run to class just because it is good for you. And totally not to get there way before the classes to start so that I can do more homework.
Oh yeah, that we all have to do it. But I mean, I sort of look at you up and down. Like I imagine, like of course, like freaking Ray is taller and like a little bit more physically built.
Oh, Ray
Ray is like
probably looks
definitely taller.
jacked compared to Dan.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Like we have some serious older brother syndrome
Yeah.
going on here with the size difference.
yeah. So he goes like, I mean, I don't know, man. It's like I think you can put more meat on you. I guess is all I say. Like,
Or
not, the flesh. I mean, you're okay. It's just it's how will I say this? you're okay as you are, but putting a little extra practice never hurts. At least for me, anyway. But
I suppose that's true. But I've had bad experiences with gym classes in the past.
and how were they? No worries.
Well, do you remember playing dodgeball?
Yeah, I've played dodgeball before.
Do you remember being hit by dodgeballs repeatedly while you are laying on the ground, not fighting back, and the teacher is drinking her tea?
He's silent. Sorry, no. Was that your experience?
It was one experience. There are many others. None of them are particularly pleasant. I like to run, but in my experience, it's only good for running away.
He clicks into his head like, ah, so they bully you. Hello?
Some people bully me. Some people, I think that they are angry because I don't try as hard in sports as I do at learning. But I don't try as hard as sports because they bully me. And then I don't try as hard as sports, and so they bully me more. And they also pick on me for other things as well, but I'd rather not talk about that right now. I am focusing on my studies.
Sorry to hear about that, man. It sucks. And I'm being genuine. I might not have the experience before, but people shouldn't be bullied because of, well, not practicing. Try your best if you can, but not getting beaten up is just stupid. If Ray looks at Dan, can I see that Daniel has been bullied recently? Like, are there any bruises on him or anything like that?
That's up to Tommy.
That's your.
I would say the bullying that's happened thus far has come from one specific individual I haven't shown, and it hasn't really been like physical.
Okay. Look, man. If I don't know how the students in Marwar treats you now, I don't know. But if there's any trouble, you need help, I'm around. Well, you can call me into that.
I have to say I am a bit surprised. I did not think that you would truly care all that much. I thought that you were happy to have a fairly clean roommate, and that was about it.
Mate, if you suffer from people, if people try to do bad things to you because of some other odd reason, that's bad. I'm just trying to help out. That's all.
Lately, a lot of the time, I think it's because I am German. And that is not very fun because I did not choose to be German. I was just born where I was born.
Yeah. Well, that's, unfortunately some people have closed minds.
Like some Germans in our country several years ago, and some to this day.
Yeah, well, that's the life. Hell, we're talking.
I am not blind to things.
Hell, I'm American, and we have quite a few close people here, so. Well, Hawaiians.
Also, there was the incidents in America, which I am sorry that they happened.
Yeah. I'm just sad for the people that suffer. Yeah.
I don't mean to push, but can we wrap this up in
Yeah,
the next 5 minutes?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up soon.
I was getting. I've ended a couple times, but I think we're pretty much good.
Yeah, pretty much good. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
We're done. That's fun.
I mean, I'm not trying to rush you
No,
out
no,
the scene. I was just saying if you could get to a finish.
Well, I'll sort of end.
Daniel's a bit long-winded, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'll end.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, man, let's. I'm gonna do some stuff here. I'll catch you, man. Again, call me if you need help. All right. I'm your roommate. I have to help you out, right?
I will consider doing that. Thank you, Ray.
No problems, man. Scene end.
Now I have to study, or else I won't be able to stay ahead.
Okay, who's next?
I can go next. So, my question I have before it: did Nivens clean his half the room?
We can argue that if you want.
It doesn't have to be RP'd. It can if we want to. But this was more of just like how I walk into the next scene that I was gonna go with.
He would have just enough.
All right. In that case, the next day during bio, Gen will arrive a little early, and I expect I see Daniel over there in the classroom, right?
Yep.
I guess this depends on if they open the classrooms before class actually starts, or if this is like a system where the classrooms remain locked until the teacher shows up.
They let you get in there like a handful of minutes early. It's not like you two are showing up like hours ahead of time. Obviously, if you go to your class at night, the door is going to be locked. But
Gotcha. So yeah, Daniel's going to be over in the corner. He's it looks like he's studying some bio that's a little bit ahead of where he's supposed to be studying.
Gen will, as he approaches, kind of like he looks at your book and he'll try and as unobtrusively as possible be like, "Hey, I'm standing here. Can I get your attention?"
Oh, hello.
Hey, I noticed you're a little bit ahead.
I am trying very hard. I hope that I do not fumble.
Ah. Well, considering I think that's at least the next chapter, I don't think you're fumbling at the moment. And in fact, I was actually wondering if, well, I mean, you seem like a smart guy. If,
Thank you.
you wanted to join a study group that I'm in, we, meet up after school sometimes and assist each other. Not that you really seem to need it, but you'd be a big help to the rest of us if you joined, if you can understand this as well as it looks like you do.
So Daniel, he kind of looks Gen up and down, and then very tentatively, almost like a cornered rabbit, just like, who else is in the study group?
Gen kind of scratches his. You want to be in the study group? Well, there's a guy named Alex. He's a little bit smaller. He plays on the airsoft team. Maybe you've seen him. Is Ray on it?
Pretty cool, you know.
I mean, up to you guys. Up to you. Yeah, it could be. Sure. Or
sure.
if Tommy's fine with that.
My buddy I know, Ray, is there. And he'll just like list off like one or two other people. Cool guys.
Can we have Vivian in the group?
I would say Vivian's normally busy at the time you guys are studying.
Damn. Oh.
So Daniel kind of nods his head. He's like, he hasn't heard any particularly infamous names or names that he recognizes as danger people. He's like, yes, I would be happy to help you to study. And I could learn even better by teaching the stuff that I think I already know.
Well, they say the best way to cement something that you want to learn is to teach it to someone else. So
Daniel fires off a quick message to Sakura, like, "I found a study group. If you join, then I can help. Then we can help you with. Then I can help you with your studies easier."
Okay, you send that to Sakura.
does he get left unread?
It's mostly just like for the sake of brevity with this, I'm gonna leave it unread, but she will eventually respond to Daniel not trying to ignore, just busy.
Alright. Well, then we meet up on, and like he'll put whatever classroom they meet up on. In the meantime, mind if I join you?
Yes, I was just studying the thermodynamics of this particular particle. It's very strange, curious. Only appears in jellyfish and some types of stingrays. Why didn't they teach this back in Berlin?
You're on an island now? Aquatic life is more important?
That is a good point. I did not consider that. Can you swim? Because my roommate was talking to me about swimming feeling freeing the other day, and it sounds terrifying to me.
Out of character, swim is its own special skill, right?
Yep.
I wouldn't consider myself great at it, but I can swim. Yeah.
Daniel thinks for a second. He's like, "This is my. Is this my first time? Is his first time meeting again, or has he seen him before?"
I mean, we have the same bio.
You would have seen him in distance. This is the first time you've actually talked to him.
All right, so Daniel's gonna think like, "Okay, I should tell this guy this thing about me. Wait a minute, that's a potential weakness. He's very large. Clam up." He seems friendly, but that could be a facade. I don't know that for sure.
I mostly practice keto to keep myself in shape, but what about you? You swim at all?
I do not very often swim.
It's not for everyone, I guess.
I like to run sometimes.
Maybe we can go on a jog together.
I think
Sometime.
that you would leave me in the dust.
Nah. You always match the pace of your jogging buddy. Maybe push them a little. Keep them going when they think they can't go anymore. But you don't leave them behind.
That is a interesting way of doing things. I'm not used to that. Anyway, I am afraid that I need to return to my studies, or else I will go ahead.
Yes.
Fall behind. Fall less ahead. Something.
Again, we'll nod, crack out his own textbook, and start reading along with you.
I noticed that Daniel was kind of starting to drag a little bit, so I thought it'd be a good time to end that scene there.
Well, I just want everyone to have a chance to do like one free scene before I start advancing stuff. Okay.
I'll probably study with Vivian when she has, time.
Yay!
The awkwardness.
NPC.
My dude going for it already.
No.
This boy's thirsty.
No, potential best.
Yep.
It's a potential best friend. Alex doesn't have friends.
Point us to the nearest necropolis, please.
Excuse me?
That's a Dragon Age Ascension joke.
Still going on. It's still going on. You evil man. Leave the good doctor alone. He's done his job.
Okay. Do you want to set it up, or are you fine with me setting it up?
I'm fine with you setting it up.
Okay, I'll say you noticed that Vivian more or less there is like a miniature study hall essentially that sits between like all of the main buildings that the classes are in. Vivian's usually there on like Wednesdays doing some extra studying after music. Well, after finishing literature, then she goes to music, then the study club.
Mhm.
And she's in there, and there's like a little bit of like an older box TV like hung up on the ceiling that's like playing something that she's stopping looking at, and just sitting at the middle table of the study hall, just going over notes. Then she starts looking at that TV.
Um, I'll probably, quietly sneak up behind her. I'll tap her. I'll probably tap her shoulder and say, "What you studying?"
I'm gonna say that like she kind of sees you in the reflection of the TV, so she's not like startled, and she turns around. Oh, I'm just working on my composition.
For for literature or for music?
World literature.
Uh,
I gotta get an essay done on Socrates by next week.
who is Socrates again?
Oh, he was a Greek philosopher.
Yeah, I'm not very good with history.
That's fine.
Do you mind having a study partner? I have a big test coming up on Thursday.
Yeah. She'll slide out a chair that's got like it's not the one right next to her, but it's like the chair immediately past that one.
I'll probably start taking out my notes for the for biology.
So what are you doing in bio?
We have to write an essay about how certain chemical reactions aren't some chemicals aren't supposed to be played with.
Hmm.
The safety hazards and the do nots and the do's.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, especially given all the stuff that's happened over the last like 7 years.
Yeah. How good are you with biology?
Not really my forte. I'm sorry.
Um, um, so what were you watching before I interrupted you?
No, I was playing like a trailer for like a weird movie or something. Yeah, I wasn't paying a heck of a lot of attention. I just needed a break from my binder for a sec.
Oh,
I'm trying to remember what it was called. Maybe. Oh God, what was it? And she looks up. Oh, it's coming on again. And then it starts playing a trailer, and then it goes, in a world where everything looks like absolute shit and everything's deteriorating at a very fast rate, he studied the law in Navarra until a shadow from his past took the only thing that mattered from him. This summer, the warrior objects you.
God damn it.
I think that's just
Then Vivian goes, you know, these Dragon Age movies are getting really weird.
yeah. The Necropolis movie was weird, to say the least.
Maybe this one will be better. I heard they're working on a new game, like Inquisition or something like that.
Hopefully, it's better than the first one or second.
I'm gonna take it you haven't played them before?
Not really. I mostly play MMO games.
Moo.
She goes, "Oh, I really don't get to play a whole lot of those. Mostly I'm so busy I only get to play like an RPG here or there, or like maybe a shooter."
Oh, shooters are the best.
Maybe. I know everyone's
Yeah.
talking about like Modern Warfare 3, but it really wasn't that great.
Yeah, it wasn't. I had high expectations, but I mean, it was okay. It was just not my cup of tea.
Then she kind of closes her book. "Well, I'll tell you what. How about one day you can show me a shooter you like, and I can show you Dragon Age one day."
That's a deal. You're gonna love this game.
We'll see. And I think that's the appropriate scene to close on.
Awkwardness on the whole another level.
You really cannot save yourself, my man.
No, I cannot.
One of these days, these two beautiful, beautiful couples will get married.
One day. Oh.
Either that, or we'll find a dwarf with a problem, and we can get them hooked up.
Oh my god. The tumble comes back. Ay, ay,
No, but can anyone here argue that Daniel and the giant kickboxer Sato deserve to be together, and that Alex and this amazing music artist Vivian deserve to be the best awkward couple?
I don't know, man. Vivian's kind of just throwing him bones at this point. Like,
Yeah.
you're really starting to come on thick here.
Yeah, man.
I
It's
only
like,
want a friend.
she's just like, you're doing a lot of mouth breathing
I want
whenever
a friend
you're
that's
around
all.
me.
Oh my god.
Alex
And I'm
only
starting
wants
to
a
think
friend.
that is the only language in the only word in your vocabulary.
Yeah, she's starting to wonder if English is really your first language.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh.
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
So are we question, are we ending there, or does Daniel get a scene that he actually chooses?
If you can keep it under 10 minutes, I would say we have time for it.
I can go fairly quick. I just wanted to get a scene where Daniel goes back to meet with Sakura again, just to kind of clear the air. And like apologize for being so awkward.
Yeah, you'd be able to find Sakura. She,
Alright.
you would know she's done with kickboxing about like 4 in the afternoon. We can say this happens like the day before you talked again.
All right. So is Daniel watching her as her kickboxing lesson ends, or
You would tell me, do you want to sit in on her practicing?
I don't think Daniel would have the time, because I feel like with all the studying he's doing, he's probably only free for a few moments at a time. But he would be trying to make his way in that general direction. Maybe his nose is pressed in a book while he's kind of slowly sauntering down the hallway towards the gym.
Okay, I'd say you come in on the last fight that Sakura's doing, spar practice, and you can kind of see her do the guard like that, kind of weaves, and then her other opponent, she kind of just straight up uppercuts her and knocks her out. Not like actually knocking her out, but like KO. And she helps her basically I'm trying to think of the right word. I can't say. We'll just say fellow sparee up. And then she grabs the towel to wipe some sweat off. You can see she's just wearing like a basic t-shirt and some shorts and like tennis shoes.
Daniel is going to wait for her to be at least off the mat, as it were.
Okay. She eventually finishes up, and she grabs her bag to go head to the changing room.
Oh, well, that's a no-go. Daniel can't
I
interrupt
mean,
that
like,
process. That's sacred in his tiny mind.
she hasn't left yet. This is literally like class is over.
All right. Well, then Daniel's going to approach. Excuse me? Excuse me. I'm sorry for bothering you.
Oh, she turns around. Oh, hey, Daniel.
I just wanted to say, you kick arse.
Art? Thanks. I'm pretty sure you just say ASS though.
Aw. I was trying to make it a bit more European sounding.
Was that out of character or in character?
That was out of character for the just describing the impetus behind saying arse instead of ass.
She kind of just gives a little bit of a smirk. Well, I'm glad you think so.
I think that your opponent thinks so as well, if I am being totally honest. But I am often honest, not very good at lying. I am sorry.
Yeah, it's not a bad trait.
It can get you into trouble. But I was wondering what kind of classes you are taking. I'm pretty far ahead, and I'd like to start studying some of what you're doing so I could help. If we can get a study group together at some point, that would be great. And that would be very helpful.
Yeah, I don't see how that would hurt at all. I got this semester I'm doing bio, literature, then I also have world history 2, and then I've also got, oh god, what was the other class? Then I'm also taking trigonometry as well.
Daniel's just like his little frown is slowly becoming a little smirk because he's already studied some of this stuff. Maybe not at the level of Marahawa, but just like in his free time. Oh, interesting. I'll brush up on those things and hopefully I can be of service because I wish to help.
I'll tell you what. You want any company onto the next class you're in? I just gotta change. It'll only be 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure. That would be great. What is my next class? Literature. Do you think that's probably a pretty good place to end the scene there?
Yeah, that's a good place to end this scene. We'll go ahead and get into the next round of Essential RP, which can actually happen immediately after your scene, Daniel.
Yay!
You'll get a little bit of a break after this one.
Daniel's not used to being popular.
All right, after Sakura leaves to go change, you go wait outside, and you see this individual approach.
Oh no.
And then he'll like slowly approach you. And then this is like your 4th day at school. You've already gotten into your club, which is still video gaming, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so he sees you waiting at the wall, and then he basically like comes up and leans in on the wall and goes, "Hey, how's it going, Augustus?"
It is going fairly well. I am working very hard on my studies. I hope you are as well.
See, I am, but
Like,
you know that.
externally, he's trying to be cordial. Internally, he's trying to become a chameleon with the wall he's leaning against.
He kind of slowly comes in front of you, then looks down, which he's like 5'7", but that's still pretty taller than you. And then he looks.
Tiny.
He looks down at you and he goes, "So, that copy of your essay you said you were gonna give me, did you get that done?"
I am, not yet. No,
Nah, he straight up just gives you like a small tap. He doesn't like hit you hard, he just kind of taps you. Focus.
But I have sick accent whenever I write. You really want me to write an essay for you? That seems like it would be a bad idea. No offense, I'm not saying that you have bad ideas. Most of your ideas are very good. I just wouldn't rely on me.
So you're going back on your word, that's what you're saying.
No, I will do it if you need me to internally Sakura please.
Yeah,
no.
I think we'll stick to the same plan. Anyway, so I'm gonna head out. Make sure you get that to me by Thursday. It's due Friday. And don't misspell my name.
Daniel takes out his little PDA, his not his PDA, his calculator. His hands are shaking. It's like, to make sure, how do you spell your name?
Yeah, you know it. My name's Kenzo. Kenzo.
Right? Kenzo. Last name? Please?
Iwata.
All right. I'm assuming that the first letter is I.
Yeah, it is.
W?
Yep. A-T-A.
Okay. It is pleasure doing business with you, Kenzo.
Alright. See you around, Danny. And then he'll just kind of tap the wall and back off of you.
Daniel's soul leaves his body momentarily when he taps the wall and then rushes back in.
And just for emphasis sake, he did not actually smack you. He just kind of did a tap like that to be like, pay attention.
All right. Everybody gets one warning. All right. So, what now?
And then Sakura will come out and she'll walk with you to your next class. Would you have brought that up?
Daniel has the right to remain silent about everything that happened, but he does not have the ability. Just gonna throw that out there.
Okay, yes or no, would he have spilled the guts to Sakura about everything?
Oh yeah, that's basically what I was saying.
Okay. Insert Telltale Sakura will remember this. you'll have a decent walk to the next of the class. Then before you get to your next class, she just says, "Hey, if don't do that for him. If he tries anything, just let me know." Is what Sakura tells you.
But if I don't do it, then what will he do to me?
He can't really do anything to you, Daniel.